This podcast is brought to you by the School of Advanced Study, University of London. All of our podcasts are available from our website, www.sas.ac.uk.
Okay, I think I'll make a start. I apologise for the delayed start of this session, but I won't take up too much of your time anyway. My name's Registry Staff. I'm the Deputy Registrar here at the School of Advanced Study. So very warm welcome to all of you, and I hope you found the day useful so far. So the issues for today, I'll just do a brief introduction to the Registry Staff, and then talk about how to apply, the entry requirements, what happens after you've applied, a little bit about international students, and then more importantly how you're going to fund and finance your studies. So I'll talk a little bit about the scholarships that are available, the bursaries, and possible external funding. And then there's an opportunity for you to ask questions. So the registry team is made up of Rosemary Land, which is the registrar, me, I'm the deputy registrar. Kalinda and Everett deal with applications, so once you apply you'll have more dealings with them. And then we have within the registry 3 student support officers. Katie Barton works for the Institute for the Study of the Americas, Adrian Garcia for the Institute of Academic Legal Studies, and Simon Van Dijk, who is the administrator for the Institute of Commonwealth Studies. So our contact details are in most of the documentation that you've received, and basically we're all here to help you. So throughout the application process, if you have any queries or questions, however minor, we are here to help, and feel free to phone us, email, or come in and see us, and we'll do what we can to help you. And also, once you're here as a student, it follows on, and we're here to help with coursework and submission deadlines and any queries that you have along the way. So how to apply? The SAS application form is the same for master's or research degrees. You can either email registry or you can download it from the website, which is, no, it's not that. Well, you've got the link there, it was working earlier. Basically, you just fill in the application form. It's quite a straightforward form. It just asks you for details about your degree, qualifications, employment, English language competence, language skills, and then there's a statement, a personal statement that you have to complete, detailing why you want to study here and what you hope to achieve. You do need to send in 2 academic references with your application form, and also your original or certified copy of your transcript of results. If you don't have those available at the time of application, that's fine. You can send those documents later on, but your application won't really be able to proceed until we receive everything. For research degrees, you actually need to also have discussed your topic of research with a supervisor before you apply. And then when you apply, you submit your research proposal with your application. There are guidelines included on the application form about the research proposal, and it shouldn't exceed more than 1,000 words. The deadline for both postgraduate taught masters or research degrees is the 30th of August. Although it might seem quite a way away, we do advise you to just apply as soon as possible, because that way you can know whether you've got a place and start preparing for your study. So the entry requirements: you need a minimum of a first or upper second class degree. If you've got an overseas qualification, it needs to be of an equivalent standard. So that's a grade point average of 3 or higher. The English language requirements, you do need to show recent evidence of your English language skills. That's within the last 2 years, if English is not your first language. The minimum overall score is IELTS 7 or a degree in English. The alternatives to IELTS, the Pearson Test of English, are available on the SAS website, so we do consider other types of English test. In addition, the Institute for the Study of Americas Latin Programme and the Warburg Institute require you to have certain other language skills, and you need to detail that on the application form. You may be asked to take a language test if you haven't got a formal qualification, just so that they can determine your level of competence. If you don't meet the required level in the language, you may be given an offer, but conditional upon you improving your language skills. So you might need to take a test prior to the start of the course, or you might undertake a language course in tandem with your studies. So what happens next? After you've applied, you normally get a decision within 4 weeks of receipt of your application. The offer letter will detail any conditions, so you may you'll need to have your first degree or any language requirements. And it will also advise you of the amount and the deadline for your deposit. Not all institutes require a deposit, but some do to secure your place. Included in that pack will be a sort of formal letter of acceptance, a form for you to complete and send back to Registry, just confirming that you want to take up the place that you've been offered. Then information about registration will be sent to you in September. Registration day, a date for your diary, is the 1st of October 2012, and then term will start a week after that. Just some brief information for international students. Please just check the UK Border Agency website for the most up-to-date guidance. You probably know this already, but applicants have to provide evidence of their ability to pay the tuition fees and the ability to maintain themselves whilst in the UK. So they'll ask for things like bank statements and other types of proof that you can maintain yourself. We would then issue you with a CAS number, and then you'd be able to go and get your visa. Study options. You can defer your place for 1 year. If you choose to defer your place, that's fine. You just need to contact the Institute Student Administrator, and then they will liaise with the admissions tutor. You can only do that for 1 year, and then you need to reapply. Mode of study, there is some element of flexibility. So if you start as a full-time student and want to change to part-time, your circumstances change, that's absolutely fine. At any stage you can change from full-time to part-time. If you start as a part-time student and want to go full-time, that's also okay, but obviously you'd need to do that probably within the first couple of weeks, because otherwise you'll have missed quite a lot. Right, the thorny issue of finance. There are school-wide funding opportunities. So the SAS doctoral studentship actually gives up to 2 bursaries that cover the tuition fees and the maintenance grant. It's only for students about to start their first year of study, but can be for full-time, part-time, home, EU, or overseas students. The application form for this is on the SAS website. And basically, a school nominations panel makes the decision, and it's sort of based on academic merit. You do have to apply by the 19th of March, which isn't far off, but also you have to have accepted the offer of a place before you can apply. The maintenance grant is currently £15,590 for full-time students and £9,355 for part-time students. You would be notified in May or early June if you've been nominated for one of these studentships. Then we have the Arts and Humanities Research Council. We have a sort of block grant, a number of studentships for masters and for doctoral degrees. They're really only for areas, subject areas like history, history of art, European language and culture, and cultural studies. Again, it's for full or part-time students, home and EU students, but EU students would only be eligible for the fees-only studentship. Again, the maintenance grant is the same as the SAS doctoral studentship, which is £15,590 full-time and £9,355 part-time. Again, the deadline is the 19th of March. It's the same form, same application form as the other one I mentioned. And again, that's on the website. And you would be notified in May or early June if you've been nominated. Also, individual institutes do offer bursaries, so you would need to contact the institute directly. You should all have received one of these in your packs. If you don't, there are more at the back of the room. And this goes into far more detail about the individual institutes. Some offer up to £1,000, some more, some less, but they all have their own deadlines, so it is worth looking at that as well. For students from countries across the world wanting to study in the UK, you're eligible to apply for a British Achieving Scholarship, but probably more appropriate is Professional and Career Development Loan, which is just for UK students, but is a deferred repayment bank loan. And at the moment, you can borrow between £300 and £8,000, and this covers 80% of course costs and expenses. American students can apply for Federal Stafford loans, which is operated by the US government. And then probably the most bizarre sources of funding is the Leave Hume Trust Trade Charities Hardship Bursary, and that is for UK students only who are in financial need and undertaking full-time postgrad degrees in the UK, but who are sort of connected with grocers or chemists, things like that. Bit of a niche on that one. There are several websites which will provide a lot of information and possible funding resources. Again, these are detailed on a blue sheet. So the British Council, Scholarship Search UK, National Postgraduate Committee, the official Graduate Careers website, and the UK Council for International Student Affairs. Another very helpful guide is the Alternative Guide to Postgraduate Funding. That details a number of very small charitable organisations. It's just worth looking at because you never know. It is available for registry, so if anybody would like a copy, you just email us and we can easily send that to you. So now an opportunity to ask any questions, and also just a reminder that you can have an individual consultation just outside with a member of registry to answer any questions that are sort of course specific. Thank you for listening.